So what I'd like to do is give you a little insight as to what works for me when duck hunting. I want to show you some of the calls that I use, some of the techniques. I want to show you what some of the ducks look like that you'll be calling and give you some tips on how to put out your decoys, and depending on what kind of ducks you're hunting, what kind of water you hunt over. So hopefully you enjoy this. So these are the calls that I use when I'm out in the field, and I'll go over each one here. I'm not particular to any brand. This is what has worked for me. This is what I bought, and it's worked for me. I'm sure that all duck call manufacturing brands will stand by their product. I'm sure that they all work. The main thing is that they bring ducks over, and then the hunter, it's up to him to close the deal. So first and foremost, I got a whistle call, and I'll go through that. These are my two wood duck calls. This whistle call is made by Echo Calls, but there's several out there. They're pretty much all the same. They all sound very similar. These are my wood duck calls, the Duck Commander Woody, and then this Buck Gardner wood duck call. And then I've got these two. These are my puddle duck calls. This is a Buck Gardner, a Mallard hen call, and this one is made by Echo. It's a timber call. I really like it. And then this one right here is a Flambeau Storm Sport for Canada Goose. So I'll go over and let you hear what each one sounds like. So the thing about duck hunting, it's a wonderful, wonderful activity to share with your loved ones, friends, family. It's a wonderful social activity that you can do with business partners. Youngsters really enjoy it. The payoff with duck hunting is a wonderful time, great activity. Ducks, if cooked properly, can have great table fare. There's two main classes of ducks. Diver ducks, which will land in deep water. So depending on what type of water you're hunting will dictate mostly what kind of ducks will land there. So diver ducks will dive. They land in deeper water. Puddle ducks will land in short, shallow water. If you think of a puddle ducks, and they basically just tip over and feed about as far as their necks can stretch out. So diver ducks will land in 20 foot of water. They'll land in 2 feet of water. Puddle ducks, though, will only land in water that's probably not much deeper than your knee. Now, they will float and drift through deeper water, but most of the time they're going to land in shallow water. So if you've got puddle duck decoys, don't toss them out there in deep water, because a lot of the time the ducks may or may not land in that water. Now, if you don't know the difference between puddle ducks and diver ducks, you can go to the Ducks Unlimited website, and they'll show you the different classes. They'll explain the different types of ducks and what class they fall under. So just keep that in mind whenever you buy your decoys and you think about where you're going to hunt. So keep that in mind. That'll make a difference on what types of ducks will fly into your spread. Okay, so let's talk about this whistle call right here, this Echo whistle call. So this one will do multiple calls, but I'm going to focus on the main ones that I hunt with. The teal, this makes a Drake teal, and it's a whistle. So basically, there's 3 types of teal, and I'm going to show you a picture right here of what the teal is. There's the green wing teal, the blue wing teal, and then there's the cinnamon teal. The next type of call is going to be a widgeon. It has 3 licks or 3 notes, and it sounds to me like he's saying, "Hey, you there. Hey, you there." And you make this sound also. You don't touch the whistle. You can hold it, or you don't have to hold it. It just goes like this. So you hear it on the 3rd note. This is what a widgeon looks like. The next one is a pintail. So what you want to do is you want to take any finger and put it in this hole right here. You see that hole? You cover that hole and you roll your tongue and you make a short note. You don't do it long. Don't do this. They don't sound like that. They do this. Short bursts. And that's a Drake pintail. And this is what a Drake pintail looks like. Okay, and then also this will make a Mallard Drake sound. Mallard drake is sitting on the water. He'll make this sound. Now, basically, you make this sound by humming into the call. And you want to kind of cup this, and you want to open it. This is what a mallard drake looks like. So these are the main calls that I make with the whistle. The next call I want to show you is the wood duck calls. So in my opinion, wood ducks have one of the largest vocabularies on the lake. You may hear this when wood ducks fly by, and it sounds like this. If you make that sound, any wood duck in the area is going to be looking in the sky for the bird. So if you've got decoys on the water, you need to make sitting sounds. Now, a lot of times when a wood duck hits the water and looks around, it will make a call where it's looking for other wood ducks. And it'll sound something like this. And then they may respond with this. So you'll hear something like this right here. Also, wood ducks will make this sound. Also, they will make this sound. But the most common sound with the wood duck, when they're just puddling around out there on the water, they're going to do this right here. And I'm just saying, to eat, to eat. Now that Buck Gardner, it'll sound a little different, but it sounds like this. And you can also make that greeting call, or that, where is everybody call. So these calls are very comparable. And now this is what a drake wood duck looks like. Okay, so these right here are my puddle duck calls. These are mostly going to be geared towards birds like mallards, pintails, gadwalls, widgeons, teal. Most of the time, the most vocal bird out there, what I've seen, is the mallard hen. I'll do three main calls: a quack, feeding sound, a greeting call. This is a quack sound. Basically, I'm just saying, what? A lot of people say 10. I can't get it to sound right when I say 10. I just say what. She'll just quack for whatever reason. Now, this is what this echo timber sounds like. It's got a little more rasp to it. The feeding sound, which a lot of guys will sound real fast. Basically, you're saying took. Like, I took this, I took that, took. The faster you say took, it sounds like a lot of feeding birds. So if you've only got 10 birds out on your decoy spread, you don't really need to sound like a flock of 500 birds. You'll hear guys do this all the time. It's not necessary, but they'll sit over there and they'll do this right here. I'm just going. You don't need to do that. Just go tuk 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 tuk. That's all you need to do. That's what that's more realistic sound. And the bottom line is, guys, you want to sound realistic. You want to bring birds over. You don't want to run them away. You want to bring them to you. So you want to sound as realistic as you can. This is a more realistic sounding mallard hen, or a feeding mallard. And this is what it sounds like with this call. So what I'll do, if I see the birds flying and I greet to them, like I'll give them a greeting call. And this is what the greeting sounds like. It's kind of like a, hey, 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 hey. It's about 4, 5, maybe 6 notes. There's a loud one, long, and they taper off. So it's like this right here. And this is what this one sounds like. And again with the Buck Gardner call. So if you hit that sound and the birds look at your decoys, they start to turn. If you've got somebody else with you in the blind, whatever they're good at calling, assign them to do that call. He may only be good at making feeding sounds, tell him to do the feeding sound. You may have a guy that's only good at wood duck sounds, tell him to do wood duck sounds. But when the birds start to fly in, you can hit them with that feeding sound. So you call them. You can actually do this with that, hands free. So you can get your hands on the gun. And then just drop it. Drop it if you got a lanyard. That's all you got to do. So that's kind of my calls for the puddle ducks. So not a lot of people call to diver ducks. Most of your calling is done to puddle ducks. So my next call is going to be this flambeau, this storm sport. It's a Canada goose call. A Canada goose's best friend is a mallard. A lot of times when you find Canada geese, you're going to find mallards. Mallards are very comfortable around Canada geese. So with this call, I'm just going to blow into this thing and kind of cut it off like a whoosh. I'm not the best Canada goose caller, but what you want is if you got decoys out there and you see them, you start waving your goose flag, blow this in a couple of times, you want them to look at you. If they look down and they see the spread, that's what you want to do. And then when they get close enough, you take them. Another trick I will tell you, when putting out your decoys, make sure that you have the wind at your back, because ducks like to land into the wind. They slow down, it helps them land on the water. So when you set up, don't be facing the wind. If the wind's blowing at you, ducks are probably not going to land, because if the wind's pushing them in the back, it's shoving them down into the water, and they don't like that. So have a crosswind or have a wind at your back. And also with your decoys, make an area open so that they can land inside the decoys. That'll give you your best options for getting birds to land in your spread. Good luck. Good luck out there. Get into it. Have fun. Enjoy duck hunting. Enjoy waterfowl hunting.